How
Yeah.
many men can, how many women can a man impregnate in a day?
People say that, hundreds, if not millions,
How
but
many,
a woman can
how
only be
many
pregnant
once
once.
a month?
No, no,
You
not
see,
once a month, once a year.
oh
Because
yeah, yeah, once a year, once a
you
year.
get it?
Yes, it's
Yes, a
true.
man. Yeah, yes. I feel like
Yeah,
most of the family planning methods that we have are targeting the wrong group, and
that,
I think
yeah,
we need to, shift our goals and
yeah,
and target right. Hello,
yeah.
my beloved viewers. Thank you for coming back to MA TV. My name is Dr. Henry, and today I'm super privileged to have a good lady here, Sheila. Sheila is going to introduce herself, tell us what she does, and then we shall have a conversation. We hope you enjoy it. And if you've not subscribed yet, probably this should be the best time to hit the subscribe button. You like the video, share, comment, let's all learn together. So, Sheila, it's a pleasure having you on our UMA TV.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
UMA is actually Ghana Medical Association. So this is like the social media part of the doctors, we're trying to promote doctors' voices and promote health basically, teach people, and people always use this channel for health education. So it's a pleasure to have you on our channel.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So Sheila, I only know one name. Sheila, what's your other name, and maybe tell people about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Sheila Gabea,
Mm.
and I am program director at World Vasectomy Day.
World Vasectomy Day.
Yes.
Okay, at least from that I know World, I know Day. Vasectomy. What's vasectomy?
So vasectomy is a
Mm.
permanent family planning contraception, but focusing on men. It's
Okay.
kind of like the opposite of a bilateral tubal ligation.
Oh, for ladies.
Yes, for
Okay.
ladies.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically, your work is rotating around that family planning.
Yes. So our work rotates around family planning,
Hmm.
but family plan we use that platform when we talk about vasectomy to use to talk about other family planning conversations, and we talk about sexual reproductive conversations like sexual reproductive health, sexual and gender-based violence, and mental health,
Okay.
focusing all on men.
Wow, wow, wow. Quite interesting. Actually, I've not met so many ladies who are interested in men's health. I think you're really doing a great job, and I'm sure you're impacting a lot of lives.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am
Hmm.
interested in men's health
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
I grew up in a family of three. I
Hmm.
lost my mom when I was 11,
Sorry about that.
and my dad
Hmm.
decided not to remarry until I was finished with school because I'm the
Wow.
last one.
Wow.
When I finished school, I graduated. My dad got married to a woman who had 4 children, and he said to the woman that
Hmm.
I do not want us to have any children because I have three, you have four,
Hmm.
that's seven. Let's act as a blended
Hmm.
family. I got
Hmm.
interested in that decision as an African man. It's not easy to find a man. Think
Hmm.
about it. I was 11 when my father,
Hmm. Hmm.
sorry, when my mom
You're
passed
quite
away.
young at the time.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and my dad said I would not remarry until she's done with university. You don't find a lot of African men making that kind of
Hmm.
decision. So
Hmm.
of course
Hmm.
it interested me, and I started to wonder what was so different about my father that other men were not didn't do. Because every time I tell people that story, they're like, "Wow, what kind of man was your dad?" So I've
Hmm.
always loved my dad, and I think that has always made me love men generally, and
Yes. Yes.
also growing up understanding that when I started working in sexual reproductive health, realizing that men were ignored, they were not given a seat on the table when it came to family planning. People say that family planning should be a woman's thing, but I
Hmm.
believe family
Hmm.
planning should be a two people thing
Yeah. Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
takes a man and a woman to create a baby. I think men should be given a seat on the table to have a say in how many children they want to have. How do we raise the children? It
Hmm.
shouldn't be a woman's thing, and in that, it also takes that burden of family planning off of women.
Wow, quite interesting. Me, like for most of the people, each time the word family planning is mentioned, what comes to their mind is a lady, maybe a lady taking a pill, taking
That's
an
true.
injection. For men, I think the only family planning I've had for them is maybe using a condom, but
Yes,
there's nothing beyond that.
yes.
And I think we have, with vasectomy, we're sort of having another option.
Yeah. Do you also think, Henry, it's because men,
Hmm.
African men especially, have been led to think or to believe that it's not their problem. Family planning is not their problem, and that's why when you have children, Henry, if your wife got an extra child you didn't plan for, you don't blame yourself. The woman is, or your
Hmm.
cousin Musiri,
Hmm.
you know
Hmm.
how they
Hmm.
abuse us.
Hmm.
Eh?
Hmm.
Tayagala call her family planning. Look at her now; she has got pregnant again. This woman didn't get pregnant by herself. So I think having that conversation and making men aware and men becoming contentious about what family planning is, what their role could be in family planning. It will save us a lot of even socioeconomic challenges that we face later on.
Hmm.
Yazala bana batanu katulabe fenna. But if you were
Hmm.
in that decision in
Hmm.
the beginning with your wife and you said, listen, I think I can manage 3 children. I think with the 3 I can give them the basic needs of education,
Hmm.
shelter and food, and they can get the basic education, the best that I want for them. Then we would not be having those problems of now look, she has given birth to too many children.
I get you. Actually, I feel like men, oh, most of these family planning interventions, they seem to be targeting the wrong group, the women. I mean, like, I feel like more target should be on the men.
On the
We need
men.
to make them more responsible. That each time maybe they open their zip, they know that,
Henry,
something
in
could
fact, you
happen.
talk about something like that.
Yeah.
How many women can a man impregnate in a day?
People say that, hundreds, if not millions,
how
but
many?
a woman can
How
only be
many?
pregnant
Once
once.
a month.
No, no,
You
not
see?
once a month, once a year.
Oh,
Because you
yeah,
get it?
yes,
Get
it's
a
true.
man. Yeah, yeah. So I feel like
Yeah,
most of the family planning methods that we have are targeting the wrong group, and I think
yeah,
we need to, shift our goals and
yeah.
and target right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And how do we get men? So what we're trying to answer at
Hmm.
World Vasectomy Day is, how do we get men more involved in these conversations? How do we get men to care? How do we get men to want to know what's
Hmm.
going on?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
even if you're not ready to have a vasectomy, or
Hmm.
you're not ready for a permanent family planning method, for you to know what contraceptive your wife, your partner, your girlfriend is on, it helps, because sometimes people will say, look at her, she's being moody, she's grown so fat, look at the acne on her face. They don't know what the side effects of family planning are for that woman. But think about it, you're a man, your partner is on a pill, you even tell her, honey, did you remember to take the pill today? That is the care, that act of love
Hmm.
that we at World Vasectomy Day are trying to put into men, encouraging men, empowering them with
Hmm.
information on family planning, so that they can know, oh, did we do the injection this month? Maybe if this is affecting you like this, you should do this. Henry, we've had men who have had vasectomies
Hmm.
who sometimes come to us and say, my wife was on the pill,
Hmm.
then it was affecting her.
Hmm.
Then they put a coil inside her. She started bleeding the entire month. She couldn't
Hmm.
stop.
Hmm.
Then they used an IUD, and the IUD shifted, and I decided to get a vasectomy. Now that's a contentious man. That's a
A
man who
responsible
knows,
man.
responsible man.
Hmm.
He knows, okay, she tried this, she tried this, she tried this. Maybe it's my turn. That's all we want men to do, to be aware, to know what the method mix is out there, and to make an informed decision with their partners.
Wow, wow. We have to raise responsible men.
We do,
Right
yes.
from, when they're actually young, we need to make them more responsible. Most of the efforts have been directed towards ladies, the girl child. Let's do this for the girl child. And
Yes.
boys have always been neglected. So I'm
Yes.
really happy that you guys are doing this. Okay, I want to ask you about the meat. I can say chef. And I'm super excited. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm already
Yeah.
salivating. The scent is already.
The
Yeah, yeah,
scent
yeah.
is all in the whole area,
Yes, yes.
yes.
So why the meat today? Why the
So
barbecue? Mm.
today
Mm.
we planned a convenience of
Mm.
young men between the ages of 18 to 35. All the men here you see are young men. These are men, some of them have families, some do not have families yet. But what we are trying to do, just like you said, to teach young men so that when the time comes, they are aware, they are fully informed of the choices that are out there for them. We've
Mm.
brought these men together, we've convened them so we can
Mm.
have these conversations and create a safe space for men. And
Mm.
this safe space, we say it's a safe space because men sometimes are shy to
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
these
yeah, yeah, yeah,
issues
yeah.
when there's women around. I'm a
Mm.
woman, but I've not been in the conversations.
Yes,
I've
yes,
been
yes.
outside in the
Mm.
conversations, but
Mm.
the men have been
Mm.
talking to themselves. We've been having somebody, a moderator who is also a man.
Mm.
But what we try to do is to create that safe space for men to share things they would normally not share, things they would be shy to go to the health center and ask about. Talk about erectile dysfunction, talk about mental health struggles, talk about infertility in men. People
It's
don't
also
think
common
that this
actually.
exists in men, but
Mm.
so when we create these spaces, we are encouraging men that it's okay to speak up, it's okay to share, and maybe when you share in a group, there will be somebody who has a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
similar
People have solutions
experience.
actually.
There's someone who has advice, guidance, a solution. You know, you've heard about Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah.
You come together in a group, you share an experience, you all have a shared or lived experience. You come together, you share it, and you share ideas and solutions. That's what we are trying to build here at World
Wow,
Vasectomy Day,
wow, wow.
building a cohort of young people, or a movement, I should say, of young men. They share advice with each other, they encourage each other, they even share opportunities. If there are job opportunities, this
Hmm.
kind of, yes, they share with each other. That's what we're trying
Wow,
to build
wow,
here.
wow, quite awesome. Actually, personally, from the time I came, I feel already changed. I mean, people have shared quite a lot. People have talked about their experiences. Men really complain of, men have, have poor health seeking
Eh,
behavior. That when a man is having an issue,
exactly.
they rarely seek health on time. So many men out there actually having UTIs, they're having STIs, they never
Yes.
complain about them. They feel, they're busy looking for money. Sometimes they get complicated. Usually, by the time they come to hospital, it's usually late. Sometimes they get these bad UTIs that they end up getting
Henry, we
strictures.
always say,
Hmm.
by the time the man goes to a hospital by himself, either the
Hmm.
wife has forced him or
Hmm.
he's in an ambulance.
You
A
see?
man will
You
say,
see?
"My chest
Hmm.
hurts, but I have to go. It's
Yes,
fine.
probably they're
I'm
having a
doing."
heart
They're
problem.
having a heart
Yeah.
attack and they are going to work.
That's quite unfortunate. Yeah, so
Yes.
I feel like we need to change as men. We be more responsible. We have need to develop this, habit of having very good health behavior.
Do you believe,
Hmm.
Henry, that
Hmm.
the reason why our men, African men, have not been responsible, and I want to say that in quotes, is
Hmm.
because we've been taught, our men have been taught to be strong, not to show that you're sick.
Masculinity.
Our
Men
our
don't cry.
definition of
Yeah.
masculinity is
Hmm.
when you're sick, don't go to
Hmm.
hospital,
Hmm.
don't cry, don't say you're sick, don't complain, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. Just always be
Hmm.
like this,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
a robot.
Hmm.
So we need to start from the grassroots and actually redefine what being a man is, what masculinity is,
So it's
and
just
what
about
positive masculinity,
concealing what's hurting you. It
concealing
goes
what's
beyond
hurting
that.
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
does. It
Hmm.
goes beyond what's hurting you.
Hmm.
That's why you find that men get heart attacks, and I'll give a very, my father passed away
Hmm.
to
Yeah,
in
yeah. When you're young.
2022.
Hmm.
No, my father
Oh,
just
that was
recently,
oh,
two
that
years.
was the
Yeah,
mother. Okay, sorry, sorry.
yeah,
Hmm.
and he had a heart attack.
Sorry
Two
about that.
days before he called us, my sister was visiting me,
Hmm. Hmm.
and he said, I took a walk, my heart is paining. Then my sister said, baby, please go to the hospital. Says, no, it will be fine. That was 2 days before my dad passed away. He passed away the next day. As he was going to the hospital, he had an enlarged,
Hmm.
one
Hmm.
part of
Hmm.
his heart had
Hmm.
enlarged.
Hmm. Hmm.
And this is a typical example of men's health seeking behavior, the poor health seeking behavior that
Hmm.
men have.
Hmm.
Because maybe if you had done that 2 days ago, would we have
Maybe the
known? You,
circumstances would
you
be
never
different.
know, but
Hmm.
could it have saved him? Maybe, maybe not. But that's the health seeking behavior that is lacking in men. And it could be sometimes if you're a person and you're a father, you
Hmm.
think you're being strong, but you're leaving behind people, maybe children
I
who are still in
know. I
school, who
know.
are
Hmm.
young, they
Hmm.
still need you. And you're leaving them behind because you said, "Oh, I have to be strong." So these are things we need to think about, an act of love to yourself first, because if you don't love yourself and you take yourself to hospital, it's hard for you to love
Yeah,
your
others.
children and your
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
family.
yeah, yeah.
So we really promote an act of love for yourself first as a man, then you'll be able to take care of others.
Awesome. Sheila, which men should get vasectomy? Do you think I'm fit for it? I don't have any
Henry,
babies yet.
no, Henry, you're not fit for a vasectomy.
Yes.
What we encourage is for
Hmm.
men whose families are complete, and
Okay.
that's you're 45, you're 40, you have
Yeah,
six children,
and that's my target.
you're
Yeah,
you're you have
I
four
don't.
children.
Hmm.
You're like, okay, this is it, this is what I can take care of when I look at my financial power
Hmm.
or my socioeconomic status. This is what
Hmm.
I can take care of. Those are the kind of men we encourage to get
Okay.
vasectomies.
Hmm.
Please don't get a vasectomy because a girl broke your heart and so you hate all
Yeah.
girls. Don't get a vasectomy
Hmm.
because maybe you got a divorce, or
Hmm.
don't get a vasectomy because you're not sure if you've had enough children.
Wow, wow.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Sheila. This
Thank
is
you
quite
so
helpful.
much, Henry.
Yeah, so as we end this conversation, personally, I've learned quite a lot, and I hope some men out there also learn something from this. This world is full of things that you can always learn every day. So, vasectomy is something probably you could consider if you've reached the age she has mentioned, around 45, 50, you don't want to have any more children. Uh, vasectomy could be an option. I hope. Is it painful even?
No.
Yeah,
So
most people are scared
the
of the pain.
procedure is, in fact, we say a procedure. It's not
Yeah,
an
yeah, yeah,
operation.
yeah.
It takes, if the doctor is very good, it will take between 7 to 15 minutes.
Quite short.
And what they'll just use local
Anesthesia.
anesthesia,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
anesthesia, and
Hmm.
they'll put it in the place. He
Hmm.
will make a small snip, maybe 1 centimeter long. He'll pull out your vas deferens, that is your
Hmm.
sperm duct,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
cut it, pull out
Hmm.
the second one because you have two.
Yes,
The
yes.
size of vas deferens is kind of like a cooked spaghetti.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
painful,
Quite
and then
small.
he just puts them back in, and that's the operation. In fact,
Awesome,
that's the
awesome,
procedure, not
awesome,
operation.
awesome,
We
awesome.
always say, you can go back to work the next day. I know men who have gone to had their vasectomy in the morning and then they went to work in the evening, so it's not painful at all. But you need to wait 3 months before. Some men usually get vasectomies and the next day they go and impregnate a girl. But the sperm is still in your vas
I
deferens, it's still
know,
in your
I know.
sperm
Yeah,
duct, so
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
get a woman pregnant.
Mm.
But after 3 months, then we believe that it's 99.9% probable
Wow,
that you
wow,
cannot, yeah, your semen does not have sperm in it.
wow, wow. This is really, really, really insightful, very resourceful, and very informative. I hope you've had something to learn. I'll get a doctor as well to tell us about the procedure, a little bit more detail. I guess Sheila is not a doctor.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But I think I'll get a doctor who will tell us a little bit more detail about what is done. So that maybe, we could start to consider this, and maybe these are discussions that we should start think about here in Africa.
that's
They're
true.
not quite common in Africa.
Yes.
Thank you very much for being part of this until this time. I hope you've learned something, and spread the message. Share with a friend, share with a neighbor, share with a relative. Maybe they can learn something, and we can all be better. Thank you very much for being part, and I wish you a good time. Bye
Bye. Thank you.
bye.